Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's video, we are going to talk about Fani Willis. Fani Willis, she was on camera. I guess this was a camera from the police officer at the scene where her daughter was being arrested. And we'll get into more details into that. She showed up with one individual that she shouldn't have been with. Not necessarily, but, you kind of question. I think she was lying under oath, okay? In this prior investigation, her dealings with, what's his name? Wade, Attorney Wade. Okay, so she was caught on camera with this guy. Anywho, we'll discuss that further on today. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about the election. Donald Trump, he gave a town hall meeting yesterday. Actually, it was originally scheduled for a debate, and Kamala Harris did not agree for this particular debate. He was in Pennsylvania, and, he gave about a 30-minute talk, and I believe he took some questions from some of the residents there. Okay, so we'll further discuss that. And then we got some other stuff that I want to talk about. Okay, so all on today on another episode of Business Talk. So you guys stay tuned. Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. You guys put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. Please put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. Let's see who we have in the building. I see we have Frankie Brown. Whatever you show here are taught by Black peoples. Talking about Black peoples. Yeah, we're going to talk about Donald Trump today. So I don't know if you consider him being Black, I guess. Kennard the DJ, what is good with you? Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so and Kamala, or do you say Kamala? Kamala Buford is tuning in from Florida. Ultra 80 Retro from Chicago. We have Fairly Lane from Rangram, North Carolina. I don't know where Rangram is at. And I used to live in North Carolina. Actually in, I used to work in Blues Creek, not too far away from Greensboro, but I went to Greensboro, was attended school in Greensboro. Anyway, you guys, like I said, put in the chat, let me know where you're viewing from. Okay, our first story for the hour, we're going to talk a little bit about Donald Trump. And then I want to talk about Kamala Harris, only because Kamala Harris, she avoided this particular interview with Donald Trump. It wasn't an interview. It was, I guess it was supposed to be a debate, but she never agreed to the debate. Okay, so Donald Trump, I guess he decided, okay, we still need to talk to the people. So we're going to just do a town hall meeting and take questions. So he was there with Sean Hannity from Fox, and they received him well, of course, because, it's a town hall meeting. Of course, you have all your supporters who show up to the town hall meeting. I don't know if he has some naysayers there, but it seemed like they received them well from what they posted on X. Just a few highlights from this meeting. Let me just share this tab with you. And I'm going to talk whatever that just came up. I'm going to talk about that too. Just a few highlights. What Trump actually actually said during this meeting. He basically honed in on the border, of course. He talked about how we need to close the border, and on day one, he'll do this mass deportation from, all these illegal immigrants that's crossing our border. Okay, so this is Fox News in Harrisburg. I believe they're based out of Harrisburg. And so they're talking about the town hall meeting.
Reporters tonight, just a few months ahead of the November election. Fox 43's Marcia Keeley joins us with details of the former president's visit and the response from Pennsylvania Democrats.
Yeah, Evan, Amy, this was a bit of a different format than what we've seen from the former president's previous two visits to the New Holland Arena. Tonight was set up as a town hall style event with Fox News Channel host Sean Hannity. The ticketed event was intentionally smaller than before and saw the former president take questions from the host and from his supporters.
Former President Donald Trump's return to Harrisburg drew thousands to the farm show complex as long lines formed hours ahead of the event. Greeted with cheers, the former president wasted no time expressing his admiration for the Commonwealth and his confidence in his chances at another term.
I think we're going to be very well set up to do a great job. And do we love Pennsylvania? Do we love it?
The evening addressed issues on the minds of many voters. Trump referenced Vice President Kamala Harris's recent interview in which she expressed support for fracking despite previous remarks to the contrary.
There's no chance that she's going to allow it. The election will take place. If she won, you're not going to have any fracking in Pennsylvania.
In response, Democratic State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta says Harris is focused on addressing the impacts of climate change.
She believes that America can lead the future in energy across the board, but particularly in renewables. Pennsylvania has the great distinction of being the place that won 2 hydrogen hubs.
The former president repeatedly addressed the situation at the nation's southern border, vowing to close it if elected.
We have to stop it, and we have to do the largest deportation in the history of
Again and again and again, what you see from Donald Trump are a bunch of sound bites and a bunch of failed promises. He had a chance to fix many of these problems. He didn't do it. He doesn't know how to lead.
Now, the former president.
And I'd like to point out, it seemed like every time I see a Democrat, and maybe this is just me because now my mind is focused on a Democrat, a black man Democrat. They seem kind of like beta-ish. You guys put in the chat, let me know if I'm just off my rockers or, not viewing that right. But, just that video I posted about your boy Roland Martin. I mean, now it's kind of questionable. People would say, well, maybe it was an accident. He's not gay, but most men, if they're straight, they're not going to look at no gay booty. It's not in their algorithm. So is this the Democrat Party propping up these male figures? And if they're majority a black man, are they propping up male figures that's gay or real feminine? I don't know if that individual was gay or not, but he seemed like real feminine. He doesn't even have basin. Literally, I'm talking lower than him. Anyway, that's not why I wanted to point out this town hall meeting. The reason why I want to point out this town hall meeting, number one, Kamala Harris, of course, she denied the debate. She didn't want to show up, so they had a town hall meeting. Number two, it is Pennsylvania. I believe the pathway to the presidency is through Pennsylvania. This is one of if you look over history, I was reading some statistics. You have a slim chance of winning the presidential election if you do not win Pennsylvania. And so I think it's very smart and strategic for Trump's campaign to hone in on Pennsylvania. And if you don't win Pennsylvania, like I said, it's a very slim chance. I think they said they counted a couple of presidents won without winning Pennsylvania. You have a very slim chance. And for Kamala Harris, really not to, and I think that's why she changed her tune. And you guys, you got to make sure, just because she changed her tune, she's being disingenuous. You can't say I support the Green New Deal and support fracking at the same time. You can't do it. It doesn't go hand in hand. And the individual, the state representative, the Democrat, was saying that Donald Trump does not have a history of proving himself or whatever he was talking about. Yeah, you're absolutely are telling a lie to the camera, because we could say Kamala Harris, she doesn't have any record of achieving what she said. I believe Donald Trump, when he got in office, whatever he said, he did. You guys put in the chat. If Donald Trump said something in 2016, 2015, he actually did that shit, whether you like it or not. He actually did it. Anyway, so I think it would behoove Kamala Harris, if she wants to actually get elected. You can't go by the ratings that they showing us, because they're biased. If she actually wants to get elected, she needs to focus in on not only these battleground states, but really honing in on Pennsylvania. And they're a fracking state. You can't get around it. These people, the people that live in California or Pennsylvania, that is a stone blue collar state. And if you don't pull the heartstrings, if you don't convince these people that you're going to actually keep their jobs and develop economic and make sure the economy grow, you're not going to get their vote. They're not going to vote for you. So that's just one thing why I wanted to point that out, because of Pennsylvania. Now, the other thing with before I move on to Kamala, because I do want to talk about Kamala right quick. There was an article, and I heard it on the news, on the radio actually. They're claiming that Donald Trump is choosing these sundown towns. Now, I never heard of a sundown town, but I guess historically, these sundown towns do not allow for you to... it doesn't allow for, I guess, black folks to go in that town at night. Okay. Actually, the first time I actually heard the sundown town was from Sunny Holston on The View. And she was saying how her father and mother and herself, she was raised in this sundown town. And I couldn't believe it, and she said till this day, this particular town is a sundown town. And I think she was saying, you guys put in the chat, but it's somewhere in Georgia. And I looked it up, and that particular town was like 60% black. So she blatantly lied to us, saying, to this day, this town is a sundown town. Now, you guys might say, oh, that is so terrible. He picking these towns and you can't walk out at night. If you live in a major city, you can't walk out at night. You can't go to the grocery store at night, because somebody might knock you over the head or put a mag in your face. So we're focusing on the wrong things. And let me just find this article, because I just had it. Trump rally sundown towns. Okay, this is it. Okay, and it says Harris campaign, others call out Trump. Let me share that with you. Campaign, others call out Trump for holding events in towns with racist histories. Can we just step back here? Because if we look at American history, you could just say every little town has some type of racist history. Can we just say that? Like in Chicago to this day, you can't walk in certain neighborhoods. Remember Wussy Smollett? You remember him? When Trump, he claimed that he got beat up by some Trump supporters with MAGA hats, and they beat him up. because they said, nigga, get out my neighborhood. Even though that was a lie, but he made that lie up and people believed him for a minute. Black folks knew it was a lie, but people actually believe him. You get, people just believe anything, but most people was thinking like, yeah, that didn't happen. But if you really look at different cities today, and if you're in a major city, not to go in certain areas. I know people from Detroit wouldn't step foot in the West Side or step foot on the West Side. I know people that live on the East Side won't step foot on the West Side, and some vice versa. The West Siders won't step foot on the East Side, same as Chicago. And these are people that look like you. So what are we saying, Sundown Town? What are we talking about? Who cares? You're not going to go there anyway. Are you going to go there? No. So why are we pulling stuff out the air? Oh, Trump is having racist rallies. Is that what you're trying to, put in the media or put out there? He's having places where, these small towns. Well, people live in small towns. They are people too. Okay? So stop it with the madness. Another story I shared this story with you guys before. I said, you're more likely to be victimized by a person that look like you. Okay. I have 2 girlfriends and they both were single at the time and they lived in Detroit. One of my girlfriends, she, thank God she noticed this, but somebody was planning to do a home invasion on her. She would have to leave house early in the morning when the sun was down. Hello. And what they were doing is unscrewing her light bulb so she wouldn't have any porch light. So when they run up on her, she wouldn't know who it was, or she wouldn't be able to see her surrounding. So they was planning to rob her. And I told her, well, you better get, I told her this is before Ring cameras and all that stuff came out. I said, you probably need a security system or something like that, because it sounds like they're planning on to do some type of home invasion. Now, she actually I don't think she ever got robbed, but her mom did. Her mom got robbed at going to the damn ATM. She went to the ATM when the sun was down and got robbed. Okay. She went to the bank teller at night and they robbed her ass. Okay. And this was around the corner where she lived at. But my other girlfriend, she was living by herself. And this was a pretty okay, decent neighborhood. Don't you know her neighbors, it had to be her neighbors, will watch her go to work and come back. And every 3 months she was getting robbed. They will actually break into her house. They will watch her leave and break into her house and steal her shit. And she was surrounded by black neighbors. These are sundown towns too. So stop it with the madness, you guys. This media frenzy saying Trump is a racist. I could play you countless of videos that I've seen and heard about Trump not being a racist. And we know if you're a little bit older, if you're 40 and up, you should realize, or you should remember, Trump supporting Jesse Jackson, supporting Bill Clinton, supporting other smaller black business owners. I've heard that Trump gave out small business loans to black people, and he actually erased the loan. He didn't even charge them. They came to pay back the loan, and he said, no, I don't want no money back. Does that sound like a racist person to you? You guys put it in the chat. Let me know. Does it sound like a racist person? Okay, so, I mean, you could get mad at that. I don't give a shit. We got a super chat. Glitten, get into it. Get into it. Okay, I got it. Apparently, this was too, I guess, phonetically correct. I couldn't read it. Get into it says, greetings from Chicago. I can't stick around, but I wanted to show my support. Thank you. Thank you. Q out of DFW. Hell, it's like the NYC, Bensonhurst neighborhood. Yep. I'm embarrassed to believe media against Trump till 2020. It's all a plight for the Dems to instill fear-monger in folks. Yeah, I agree with you. All this fear, especially this race-based baiting fear, to me is really ridiculous. You don't need to do that. Just do you prefer Donald Trump policies over Kamala Harris policies? It doesn't make sense for you to say, oh, this guy is a racist, and you have no proof of this guy being a racist. Even with the 5 boys that they were talking about that was convicted. Donald Trump didn't convict them. When they were convicted by a Democratic prosecutor. And then, they claimed that Donald Trump, well, in which he did, he probably put out he put out a news post saying, yeah, they deserve the death penalty, blah, blah, blah. But everybody in New York thought they was guilty because the prosecutors and the investigators, they forced a confession. This is how dirty, the dirty cops. So you're saying, oh, Donald Trump was a concerned citizen, and then he had nothing to do with politics, but besides being a concerned citizen, and because they were black men or little black boys, because they were boys at the time, he's a racist. No, that's just saying it's disgusting. It's disgusting to see a female to be sexually assaulted. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. And you probably would want that same type of effort too. If somebody did some type of harm to you, you will want the community to be like, yeah, they need the death penalty if they confess. And come to find out, the Democrat district attorney and these police officers forced these confessions out of these guys. Anyway. So that was that. Okay. Sundown town, they need to just stop it. Okay. It doesn't work anymore. It might have worked in 2020. It doesn't work anymore. I wanted to get to Kamala Harris real quick. Kamala Harris, of course, she's really, you type in Kamala Harris. If I was Kamala Harris running for presidency, I would be in the news 24/7. Okay, you will have something to talk about me 24/7. No, Kamala Harris is nowhere to be found. Type in Kamala Harris. You guys, I'm going to give you an assignment. Type in Kamala Harris in your Google, and the last thing that will come up is probably CNN and Vladimir Putin talking about Kamala Harris, but nothing specifically on Kamala Harris where she addressed the press. The last day she was in the news was 24 hours ago, and it would say one day. Okay, this is ridiculous, Kamala Harris. Where are you at? So Kamala Harris, I guess Vladimir Putin trolls U.S. presidential race with endorsement of Kamala Harris. And what Putin said. Putin is not our friend, you guys. He's really not. And we're trying to remember the Russian hoax and Russian collusion. They're bringing that up again. I'll probably share some of that stuff with you. But Vladimir Putin was trolling basically the
everybody.
U.S.
We are here to discuss the
He's basically trolling the U.S. It says Russian President Vladimir Putin raised eyebrows Thursday when he expressed his support for U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris' presidential bid. I'm going to go back to that. Flattering the Democratic nominee with some curiously timed remarks. And he said, our favorite, if you can call it that, was the current president, Mr. Joe Biden. But he was removed from the race. This is Vladimir Putin saying this. And he recommended all his supporters to support Miss Harris. Well, we will do so. We will support her. This is what he said on to the Eastern Economic Forum. She laughed so expressively and infectiously that it means that she is doing well. This is a slap in the face. Okay, this is why Kamala Harris should not be voted in. Okay, you might agree to all her policies, whatever they are. But we have Vladimir Putin saying, yeah, she laughs, so she must be doing well. What a clown. If you think so, you know how you, I don't know, and I'm talking to the ladies, and maybe men, you probably could say it on the other end. You meet a woman and she's giddy, but you don't really take her seriously because she's not too bright. She's a nice person. She probably will make a wonderful wife, but you don't like, okay, okay, honey, that kind of thing. This is what Vladimir Putin, okay, she must be doing okay because she's laughing. You don't really take that person seriously. She's laughing infectiously. Putin also criticized former president and current Republican nominee Donald Trump for placing so many restrictions and sanctions against Russia like no other president has ever introduced before him. So, yes, they don't like Donald Trump. U.S. don't like Donald Trump. And then Vladimir Putin don't like Donald Trump. Who's for the people? You think you would say, you're in America, you would like, oh yeah, he's putting sanctions on Russia. He's putting sanctions on Venezuela, which Joe Biden lifted the sanctions. He's putting sanctions on Iran. Well, I believe you guys put it in chat. I don't know if Obama put the sanctions on Iran or if it was actually Donald Trump, but whoever it was, Joe Biden lifted the sanctions. Who's for the people? Can you really say Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is really for the people? No. You could say, he's telling you who's for the people. He's telling you, Vladimir Putin is telling you who's for Americans. And it's not Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. Putin's comments come on the heels of sweeping sanctions announced by Biden's administration to combat a Russian government-backed disinformation effort to influence the 2024 election and boost Trump's candidacy. Okay. Remember, now this is just and he's touting that Trump is a bright and talented person without any doubt. An outstanding and talented personality. Okay. So speaking of, Russia interference, yesterday, Merrick Garland, let me see if it's a hyperlink. Yeah. Merrick Garland announced that he will be investigating, or no, he said Biden administration announced a sweeping set of actions to tackle major Russian government-backed effort to influence the 2024 U.S. presidential elections on Wednesday, including unveiling criminal charges against 2 Russian nationals, sanctions on 10 individuals and entities, and the seizures of 32 internet domains. They're saying that these people influence and they're 2 employees of RT, the Russian state media network, were indicted in the U.S. court for allegedly being part of a scheme that funneled nearly $10 million to set up and direct a Tennessee-based front company to produce online content aimed at sowing divisions among Americans. According to the Justice Department, the scheme targeted millions of American news consumers with what Attorney General Merrick Garland described as hidden Russian government messaging. Okay. And this is after the U.S. accused Iran of trying to hack both the Trump and Biden-Harris campaigns last month. Wednesday's actions are a reminder of that the U.S. officials continue to see Russia as a prominent foreign influence threat to November's election, sources familiar with the matter said. Okay, and they're saying these 3 companies, they were actually paid influencers. They mentioned Benny Johnson. It was 3 other guys. I only knew the other one guy, but Benny Johnson is the one I'm familiar with. But I guess they paid them money to create videos about whatever. Well, they create videos anyway, and all of them are Trump supporters. So I don't know how they're going to prove that they were spreading propaganda messaging. No, these are conservative channels, conservative new YouTubers. So let me see if they had the people on here. I don't see it on here, but they're saying that they accuse them of paying social media and other individuals. And it says, marked the second major effort by Biden administration to blunt RT's influence in as many months. In July, the Justice Department accused an RT employee of being involved in a scheme that used a network of about 1,000 social media accounts to pose as U.S. residents to spread disinformation about Ukraine war and other topics. U.S. officials accused the Kremlin of financing the scheme, and Kremlin spokesperson denied the allegations. And they're saying they also are keeping a close eye on China. It's saying the U.S. officials, private experts says uses a vast set online accounts to also target the U.S. voters. Chinese leader Xi Jinping told U.S. President Joe Biden they would not interfere with the 2024 U.S. presidential election when the 2 men met last month. Or last November. Can we believe that? I don't know. We can't believe nothing what China's saying. China, they will steal your design if they can't. They'll steal the election. It's China. Okay, so you can't. The bar is low for China. Anyway, so they're claiming that Russia is interfering with our elections again. They're touting, Vladimir Putin is touting that he's going to rally his support behind Kamala Harris, not because Kamala Harris is a strong leader, because he has less sanctions under Kamala Harris. She's weak to them or to him. She's a weak person. Anyway, you guys put in chat. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. Rihanna is in the building. F Your Feelings says the New York Five were not innocent. I did the crime and others were overcharged. They all were guilty of crimes that night. Lexi is saying, hi folks, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you, Lexi. Shout out to all my moderators in the building. Winnie is saying, I don't know why that's the third time YouTube blocked me giving answers, maybe criminal th. All the top of world leaders, including Putin and Russia, know Kamala Harris is no threat and they can do whatever they want if United States has another weak, incompetent POTUS, Trump 2024. Yeah, I mean, they're going to run, I said this, a few times. Kamala Harris if she's ever elected, I think we're in some trouble if Kamala Harris is actually elected. I think we're going to be in some trouble. But if Kamala Harris is elected, all these world leaders, they're going to run right over her. They're not going to take her serious. She laughed too damn much and she's incompetent. To me, she's incompetent. You had one job and that was the border, and look at that. I mean, it's probably part of your plan, but that was a bad plan, because if you would have known you was running for presidency, maybe you would have took your job more seriously. She went over to Africa offering them money, and their leaders looked at her and laughed at her. One of the African leaders actually got online and said, yeah, Kamala Harris tried to get, remember they charged that pass in their parliament. They passed that gay law. I think it was in, it wasn't Nigeria. Yeah, it was Africa 2023. Uganda passed a criminalizing homosexuality. Okay, they said you can't do it in open spaces or whatever, but it was anti-gay, and then it's punishable by death. Kamala Harris went over there, tried to get them to change their mind, offered them some money, and they laughed at her. One of the ministers got online and said, yeah, Kamala Harris tried to offer us, I guess, some type of aid, and it wasn't a lot of money, but it was some aid, and she was like, you just got to change this, and they laughed at her. So you felt that, you got poor negotiation skills. You failed. And then you think, see, this is why I really don't like Democrats. Democrats will sell their soul to the devil to get their agenda across. Whatever morals they have, they don't have any. Because we got this agenda that we want to get passed. We just going to run over everybody. We will gut your children, sell your firstborn, kill you, okay? Whatever their agenda, if it's, trying to get their agenda across, there's some sacrifices to be made. And if your kid can't read in the process, we don't give a damn, because this is what we're trying to do. This is our agenda. That's why I don't like Democrats, okay? Not Democrats like you and I, not the normal, like my neighbor. I even though they're a Democrat, and my neighbor is a Democrat, they had a Biden Harris sign up. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if they know I'm voting for Trump. But anyway, I talked to her and them, but I'm talking about politicians. Politicians, they have a one-track mind. And as far as they're trying to get their agenda, they will steamroll over you and your family, you and your future, you and your whatever, to get their agenda. This is really nuts when you think about it. Anyway, so you got poor negotiation skills. You couldn't even negotiate that. And they sent you home. A failed negotiator. Okay. Just another thing about Kamala before I get to Fani Willis. Okay. Notifications. There was what is it called? There was a independent, I guess, a opinionated piece about Kamala Harris. And it was a pretty scathing report. They called her incompetent. Trying to find what is Fox morning news called, or is it called Sunday morning or something like that? I'm let me see if I can find it in my. There's a lot of stuff about Kamala Harris on here. Anyway, I was just trying to find that. What's that guy's name? Solomon. Know why I can't find it. I thought I saved it, but anyway. So they really gave her a scathing report, and they were saying how incompetent she was. And reason why I think, like I said, Kamala Harris, she had, one job, which was the border. You failed at that. And you failed at your negotiation in Africa. Okay. So that's 2 jobs you failed at. I don't know. I guess the vice president, they don't have a lot of jobs. I guess they supposed to make sure you're very diplomatic. So you meet with other diplomats and other foreign leaders or whatever. But Kamala Harris, they were saying that she's incompetent because she doesn't have, I guess, the business acumen for success. And they talked about other stuff that she doesn't have. Like she's very rigid. She's not able to go and handle things on the whim. And they used an example of her not taking like interview questions. You're supposed to be the president of the United States and you can't take questions. You got to go off a script. And they're saying because she is so rigid and everything has to be planned for her, it shows that she has a lack of leadership. Oh, and then another thing that they pointed out, You know, Kamala Harris, she had a 95% turnover on her staff. That's why the staff that she has now, that's why her messaging is wrong, because part of her staff is coming from Obama campaign. She got somebody from Biden, and then I don't even know if she necessarily has a camp. I think her sister works with her, but somebody that's been there with her throughout these years, she doesn't have that. Like any other career politician, they probably have a go-to for a person that they, the fixer, somebody that, handle the news when the press is bad, or somebody that launched their campaign. Kamala Harris doesn't have that because she has a high turnover rate. They said she's hard to get along with. So that's why, this article basically was saying that she's really incompetent and she's not fit to be a leader of the United States. I wish I would have kept it, but anyway, you guys put in the chat. Let me know what you think about that. I'm not gonna talk about Kamala Harris because we still got 60 more days. So we got 60 more days until the election, you guys. It's 60 or 59 now. King's online. Kamala's campaign is like the kid who didn't do homework but says Jimmy is bad. Exactly. They didn't do any homework. They didn't do no homework. Shout out. Voting for Kamala Harris will invoke more uncertainties and unbalanced management in our government. Stability is needed on all fronts now. Yes, I believe, I think our financial market will be certainly uncertain because of the economics. You could feel that, when you listen to Kamala Harris is so wishy-washy. It's like, okay, I don't even know what your stance is. She touted, the $25,000 monies to give to people for, I guess, first-time home buyers. But when you got onto this CNN interview, you said, no, it's going to be a tax credit. Then, throughout your career, you touted anti-fracking. Then you're like, no, I believe in fracking. Like, come on now. Just like, you're so wishy-washy. We don't know where you stand at. And then you said, I believe in the Green New Deal. Well, the Green New Deal is very aggressive. So you can't believe in fracking in the Green New Deal. I know I said this before, but it's impossible to do. It's impossible. Maybe more stringent laws, but you can't just say, oh, we're going to cut out fracking and not make U.S. economy great. And to make our economy really great, we need to tap into our natural resources and some of our energy resources and sell it. But we can't do it. We can't do that with Kamala. Kamala is going to flip-flop on you. And unbalanced management in our government that's what you're going to get. And it's not going to be stable. The way Kamala Harris wish-washy, that's how our economy is going to be. It's going to be wish-washy. When I watch YouTube, I'm 70 years old and I see no good word about that drunk communist Harris and tampon walls. Tampon walls. It's all about your algorithm, though. We already found that out. If you watch other stuff on your algorithm, they're not going to show you anything else besides what you watch. Allegedly. Okay. And another thing I want to point out, wars. We have had no wars under Donald Trump. And look, under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, because she's taking over for him, we got 3 of them. Possibly 3. 2 and possibly another one. Okay. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think. Put it in the chat. You guys make sure you like, subscribe, and share this channel. We're going to get to Fani Willis. Fani Willis was caught on tape with her boo. Her boo thing. Her boo thing that she not supposed to be with. Fani Willis got caught on tape with her boo thing that she's not supposed to be with. But she was with him. And I can't say she's, free to do whatever she wants. But she's saying that they're not together. For some person to be not together, they surely is together. You coming with me to pick up my daughter and all that stuff. That, to me, that's crazy. This is
Mike Rogers said
this is Fani Willis during her daughter's arrest. Okay, this is the tape.
Couple hours, probably.
Bond out today, for the most part.
For the most part. Okay, so one say it takes 2 hours. We'll be there in a second. We'll just be sitting like waiting for you. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. We'll get it handled.
14, show me if they're not problem,
Just not get overwhelmed.
They're not problem,
Yeah. Can I talk to mom? Thank you.
Well, we have to talk to the rest of us already, that's all.
Hey.
So explain what's going on. What's right now?
Right now.
Hill, Freeway for search.
How long is your other person or whoever coming to?
Let's see. I gotta get her phone real quick. Let me call her.
You heard that she says she has anxiety from driving.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fine. It's out of the road. Well,
that's why
I'm gonna pull it over a little bit more, but.
y'all aren't allowed to.
Well, no, I mean, if you want to pull it over like just 2 feet, you know, just to get it away from the line. Yeah, just in a little bit more so that it's not, you know.
Okay.
And then it can sit here. You can sit with it. I mean, that's fine. Or we can give you a ride to.
So she's going to stay at county jail, but I'm gonna need you to come here because I don't drive, and we gotta move her car. Okay. Okay, so that's one part of this handle. Oh, there's a lot. I know we try to do this all day, but what? Share my location. Share it to the end of the day. What are we in front of? Tyrone?
You're at Highway 74 and Tyrone Road. All right, man. Do you want to get on?
I put it on, 1.75 speed.
Check her. You have a valid driver's license?
She's not gonna drive a car.
She's not gonna drive the car? Gotcha. She got somebody out here to pick it up, or? Fantastic.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so he's 45 away, so that's a little bit fine.
So, you just don't have to. I mean, I'm comfortable, but at least at the BP, you just make that left turn. At least you have gas station, get some eat, something to drink.
Scale of 1 to 10. Let's say that
Hey,
I
name and whoever's coming to pick up
really
the
bad.
vehicle, like, report there.
Let's say I'm not good at this. Let's say.
Okay. Hey, no, you don't feel comfortable.
I'm just a little scared.
Huh? Well, you gonna drive her to BP? I'll follow you over there. We'll be behind you. You'll be right behind me. I just, if you're comfortable with that, I just don't want you to sit out here in the middle. I mean, if you want to, that's fine.
I think we might, all of us, as a unit, maybe safer if I sit back here.
Okay, that's fine then.
Yeah.
Who's coming to get it?
Her boyfriend is gonna come get it.
You know his name?
I don't know his name. It's like everybody calls him Casey, but it's some really long.
I mean, I can probably give him her, right? She probably,
Yeah,
she boyfriend, she probably knows.
Yeah, she would know how to do his whole name.
She got a phone?
Not yet. Just gonna grab that.
You're not comfortable driving, but do you have a driver's license?
Yes, I think it's in the car, but it might just be my ID, because again, I've been driving years, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be my ID.
Will you
I don't know
look?
if you can pull it from ID, but.
Yeah. Is it out of Georgia?
Because she said, I'm not my mom, she lives closer to
That's
here,
fine.
she might be able to move it.
Okay.
Harris has made herself clear. She stands with Israel and the Jewish people. Kamala Harris gets it. We can trust her.
Doing well, how are y'all?
Excellent.
Mom, Dad, who's with you?
Okay. Nice to meet you.
So,
Nice to meet you. What?
So, apparently her license is suspended. For something. Doesn't tell us what for or why or where. Or that's something she's going to call DMV. Right. Probably what happened, she had a speeding ticket. Some kind of traffic infraction, everyone in court didn't take care of it. Right. That's the best guess.
I'm sorry, you guys. I forgot to change it back to the normal speed.
Look, Mama looking like us. The windshield's a little dark. Oh.
How are you?
Doing well, how are y'all?
Excellent.
Mom, Dad, who with you?
Just a friend, yeah.
Okay.
Connie, nice to meet you.
So, Corporal Clark.
Man,
Nice to meet you. What?
So, apparently,
Next to me.
Apparently her license is suspended.
News to me, okay.
For something. Doesn't tell us what for or why or where, or that's something she's going to have to call DMV and find out. Right. Probably what happened is she had a speeding ticket, some kind of traffic infraction, never went to court, didn't take care of it. Right. That's the best guess. So she's gone over to Fayette County Jail, which is right into Fayetteville Square. It's 145 Johnson Avenue. Normally, I would say a couple hours is the process. It just depends on how busy they are and like that, okay? The driving on the suspended is basically a traffic citation. She's got to have her fingerprints done and picture taken, then she can make her bonds. You can pay it cash, use a bondsman, be 10%, whatever. They've got a list of people over there, too, that you can choose from and use whatever.
Where was she stopped?
So the vehicle's registered to her.
Okay.
I don't know if it was on a flock hit or if the officer observed some kind of traffic infraction. It wasn't me. I didn't make a traffic stop. He's already gone and got her going. Okay. So whatever the case may be, when you run the tag, it obviously gives us the vehicle information and the registered owner, and it's already in the system that has the invalid license. Yeah. So upon that, we just verify that it is that person driving, or stop the car first at that point. We don't have to know it's them. It's general assumption that the registered owner is the driver of the vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, if you stop it and it's not, okay, have a nice day. But in this case, she was. So.
So, just are the keys to the car here?
Yes.
Yeah, everything's here.
Yeah, everything's in there.
She has 3 numbers. I believe she gave, let's say, your number, a JC, and a third name I didn't hear. And she'll allow to make. Well, she's allowed to get 3 phone calls when she gets to the jail.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna just park the car. And
once they get the process done, she can make a couple phone calls and call you guys and say, okay, I'm ready, this is how much it is, whatever. I want to say off the top of my head, I think driving on suspended license is about $1,200.
Yeah.
Somewhere right in that area. Every municipality's different, you know, give or take a little bit, but somewhere around.
They know them. So they probably know them. They knew Fani Willis when she walked up. So she showed up with Nathan Wade. And they're not doing any business. She had her plain clothes, like some biker shorts on. You know, like they're just was chilling at the house. I just want to show you guys what she had on. So she has on some shorts and some sandals. You know, they probably was just chilling at the crib, at the crib, booed up. She chilling at the crib, booed up, and now it made national news. Is this a big deal? I think it is. It's a telltale sign that Fani Willis never cut off her relationship, and they continued this relationship. So speaking of Fani Willis, I'm not gonna show this whole entire thing. It's a traffic stop. Her daughter knows what to do. She didn't act ignorant. Okay, they traffic stop. Why are you driving on a suspended license? I don't know. Pay your tickets, because that's probably why her license was suspended, because she didn't pay some civil infractions that she acquired throughout the years. But when you're 25, you do stupid shit like that. And like literally, she's 25. She's 25. It says in Battle, Georgia, DA Fani Willis, 25-year-old daughter, Kanaya, arrested for driving with suspended license. Okay. Would we heard? Is this news? I don't think so. The reason why this is news is because Fani Willis. Fani Willis showed up with her boo. That's why it's news. Okay. And they said she's pregnant. Okay, it says Kanaya Willis was pulled over in Tyrone, Georgia on August the 24th for driving while using a cell phone when police discovered she also had a revoked license, according to the incident report obtained by Daily Mail. She told the officer that she had been using her cell phone due to her calling her related to her pregnancy, calling her mother related to her pregnancy. So she's pregnant. And all it says that she arrived to take possession of the vehicle. She was fined of $500 and a 6-month extension of a suspension if convicted. Oh, that's what she faced. She faces a minimum of 2 days in jail. They're not going to give her a jail time, but $500 fine and a minimum of 6 months. And then they talked about Fani Willis. Sprawling racketeering case against Trump has been on pause since June, while Georgia Court of Appeals weighs the former president's effort to disqualify the 52-year-old district attorney. Trump and 8 of his co-defendants had asked the Georgia Appeals to the court in March to hear their arguments, accusing Willis of prosecutorial misconduct over her relationships with former special prosecutor Nathan Wade. And this is her daughter. Very beautiful girl. But too bad. Her mama want to get her steps in. Her mama can't contain herself. I guess she, there's nothing wrong with her relationship, but you trying to use the taxpayers' money to fund your relationship. So, they pulling up, somebody sent me this article, shout out to that person. And they're saying that they going back to a virtual hearing. Fulton County DA Fani Willis virtual hearing scheduled for Thursday. Okay. And it's saying the virtual hearing is scheduled for today in connection to Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and her alleged romantic relationship with attorney Nathan Wade and the Georgia election interference case. Wade was appointed by Willis to oversee the election interference case against former President Donald Trump. He eventually resigned after his relationship with Wade was exposed during the dramatic hearing. I mean, if we go back to some of these clips, because I if you guys been following me for a while, we covered the hearing. We was live for this particular hearing. And Nathan Wade, his answers, when Ashley Merchant was questioning him, his answers were so ambiguous. Like, she asked him, and this one thing that really came to mind. Have you ever been to not an Airbnb, but she called it something else. And it was like a farm, something really crazy that you probably would never go to. And he's looking up in the air for about 2 minutes, like, have I ever been to a farm? Like, you don't know if you've been to Tennessee to this farm or whatever. She asked him, and he looked up in silence for 20 minutes, looking around like, I don't know. Like, come on, dude. I mean, it was really absurd. Okay. And then his friend turned on him. I guess he was trying to get in Ashley Merchant's pants, probably. He probably was trying to flirt with her. Or maybe he was mad because of some of the things they had a falling out. And so he gave some information to Ashley Merchant. And then apparently somebody got a hold to his friend. And he backtracked his whole statement. he act like he didn't want to answer. Anyway, it says defense attorney Ashley Merchant, who represents Trump aide Michael Roman, raised concerns about the relationship, calling it a conflict of interest. The hearing will examine whether this relationship affects the case. It is set to take place at 2 p.m. today. I don't know if they're going to publicize it, but I'm assuming it already took place. Let me see if they got any information on it. If they started on time, they have a propensity of starting late, court late. Today. No, they didn't. They're not airing it. So yeah, they're not airing this live stream. But so Fani Willis, I think she just basically lied on stand. She lied under oath. Nathan Wade lied under the oath. And that one guy, I forget what the guy's name is. I have to go back to my notes. He lied under the oath. Okay. Fani Willis, I think she is and was an excellent attorney. I think she allowed her career to be tarnished by Nathan Wade. She could have handled this much differently than what she did. And I think that's why her career will be forever tarnished. She shouldn't have hired him in the first place because you knew you was doing the do with him. So why hire him? You could have hired him at any other court case, but you knew you wanted to hire your boyfriend at this hella publicized case, and you think that Donald Trump and his people were not going to look into who you're hiring and who they're going against. I mean, I think that was very amateur of her. And I think Fani Willis, well, I guess we could say Fulton County, because that one judge that got kicked off of Young Thug's trial. I mean, it seemed like it's really messy in that area. Like it's a bunch of mess, They claimed that the judge for the Young Thug trial was trying to coach the witness. You having private meetings with the witness and probably threatening him, saying, yeah, he has to testify or he got to do something. And you didn't, have the other parties in there. Everybody should have been involved in this particular meeting. So it seemed like Fulton County is really messy, And Fani Willis, if you guys go back to some of my old videos when I talked about Fani Willis, she ran on not being messy. Not having office romances. And then when she got in office, she decided to have an office romance. She was like, oh, I'm above the law, I guess. She decided to have an office romance. She fired that one girl for being a whistleblower or trying to be a whistleblower, saying they mismanaging federal funds. And it's just a whole big, messy place, Then you had that one. Remember the one lady who, I guess, was stalking? She was on the board. She was like a council member. She was stalking the aide. She hired this aide and started sleeping around with him and then started stalking him, putting the airdrop tags in his car. This was all Fulton County, you guys. Just crazy, crazy stuff that's happening in Fulton County. Really messy kind of stuff. But anyway, you guys let me know what you think about that. Okay. Fani and Wade still together in the whole relationship. Her daughter called, and Fani was with Wade at the time in the car, so they had the right of way with no preparation. They're caught again. Exactly. Her ratchet daughter. Her mama's a side order. Tracy Johnson said they need to throw the book at her. Fani is a horrible representation of black women. Yeah, I mean, like, and I got a lot of slack for covering Fani Willis because I guess, you know, like when you're saying that you're gonna, you know, apply the law or prosecute people for wrongdoing, and then, you know, like I said, this highly publicized criminal case of Donald Trump. He's a world leader and you decided to prosecute him. There's nothing wrong with that. If you thought he was doing wrong and you got him indicted, you're supposed to do your job. But you're very ignorant to the fact that you thought you was just going to do your little dirt and no one say anything about it. You know, you was throwing stones and you living in a glass house. And, you know, some people were saying, oh, one doesn't have to do with the other. Nathan Wade has nothing to do, and when, you know, they're sleeping together, Nathan Wade has nothing to do with Donald Trump's wrongdoing. Well, he doesn't have nothing to do with it, but you're talking about they're using taxpayers' money to prosecute Donald Trump. And you're paying your boy toy close to $1 million to prosecute Donald Trump, and he has no prosecutorial experience. To me, it doesn't make any sense. Now, you hired him as an investigator. I don't see nothing that was wrong with that. But then you decided to bring him on the case. You should have just cut off. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's other criminal cases that he could have gotten hold of and you could have paid his pocket. But no, you had to do it in front of the nation. And you thought nobody was going to say something. And you're using taxpayers' money. Nobody would have said anything if he was on somebody else's case. Nobody would have said anything. But no, you had to flaunt him in front of everybody, and he was your boyfriend. Good evening, AST. This judge shows up at the scene looking at the household Fani grew up in. Looking at the household Fani grew up in. Trump said he will Putin do what he wants. He will let Putin do what he wants. I doubt that. I don't think he said that. Willis could have put Wade on any other case, but she had to put Wade on this case. Trump's has ruthless lawyers. They were going to find this information. Exactly. I totally agree with you, Keefus. She could have put him on any other case. He could have made money, probably not as much, but he could have made money on any other case. But you decided to put him on this case, and then you paid him two times more than the other lawyers, and the other lawyers was doing all the work. It didn't make sense. So you just basically said, damn, to the hell with the taxpayer citizens of Fulton County. I'm just going to get the bag for my boo. and we're gonna go on trips and stuff. It looks really bad. I think she just tarnished her reputation, and it shouldn't have been that way. Even though a lot of people don't like her prosecuting Donald Trump, but she wouldn't have tarnished her reputation. They would have just said, "Oh yeah, she a bitch for prosecuting, bringing these frivolous charges up to against Donald Trump." But now she's a bitch and a hoe. You see what I'm going at? You just tarnished. Not everybody know your business and stuff like that. It's just really ridiculous. I think she could have avoided all that. And for her to be 52, you think she'll be wiser than that. She would have had some type of foresight into what could have happened if she would have did what she did. And she didn't. She did what she did. She didn't give a damn. Rihanna says he was trying to get with Wade's ex. Oh, is that why you talking about the other guy? Is that why Willis? I'm going back to your comments. Willis could have put Wade on any other. Okay, yeah. I thought that friend that turned on Wade was trying to get with Willis. And Rihanna said he was trying to get with Wade's ex. I think the ex that was in their office, right? Because they said he had some misconducts in the office and they let him go, and I guess it was revealed he had to pay like $19,000, or he left $12,000, and I guess the $12,000 or $19,000 went to the girl that claimed that he made advances on her at the job, unwanted advances. So maybe that was Wade's ex, and that's why he fired her. But a lot of offers were, drama. That's just really ridiculous. Anyway, Keefe says, I wouldn't be surprised if more qualified lawyer who felt they should have been assigned the case made it known to Trump lawyers. You know what? I don't think nobody wanted that case, though. I really do, because remember they brought on I guess he was the ex-governor at one point of Atlanta, and now he's prosecuting a prosecuting attorney or practicing law. I don't know, but he has a big law group, and she interviewed him, and he said I didn't have the capacity to handle that type of case, and he said I like my life. I didn't want to be involved in this type of case because, like I said, Trump. This is a highly publicized case. You're not just going to be going in there and get all these crazy things going on in your personal life, and you're prosecuting the most popular president ever, and you think somebody's just going to run over Trump. No, they're going to find everything about you. Even with that Stormy Daniels case, and nobody brings this up. You guys know Stormy Daniels has to pay Donald Trump $660,000. He countersued her. He countersued Stormy Daniels. She tried to sue him and lost, and she countersued him. And she has to pay him $600,000. It's like $660,000 so you're not Trump. When he say he's not a loser, he really mean that shit. He does not like to lose. He is not going to lose. He's a winner. And he doesn't like to feel like if he was slighted in any type of way, he really takes it personal. And I don't blame him, because you got this Stormy Daniels case, and now And I think she did have to sign this non-disclosure agreement. And this is before he was running for office. And now you just want to publicize it because I'm running for office. This don't make no sense. No, you stick to your agreement. Now you're trying to profit off of this secret that we thought it was a secret. And I'm not saying Donald Trump was right or anything like that, because I believe Stormy Daniels happened when he was married, or his current wife was pregnant or whatever. But the problem is you signed a non-disclosure agreement and now you came out with it because you're trying to get more money, which is ridiculous. Rihanna said Wade's friend was on Wade's ex's side during his cheating with Fani. He didn't like the way they were doing his wife. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Now it's coming back to me. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. He thought he was dogging out his wife, and which he was. He probably, I think she said they had to, his wife had to file an injunction for him to disclose some of the money. After you raise your kids and you've been at home all the time, of course, you're not going to have any money. I put my career aside because I had your babies. So somebody got to pay for this living. And now you out there cheating and lollygagging. And then coming to find out, I guess she had a relationship with one of his friends. But the friend, I don't know if it was intimate or not, but anyway, it was a big mess. So that's it for our live stream. You guys, I really appreciate every single last one of you. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure next week we're starting a new podcast, and that is on my other channel. It's under Chawanne Burns 2.0. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, make sure you do that. Let me just pull it up for you. Chawanne Burns 2.0. Make sure you subscribe to that channel. Now that will be streaming live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. It's only a 30-minute show too. I have a co-host and a producer. So, and it's going to be a set schedule. Okay. So anyway, you guys enjoy your weekend. If I don't get online over the weekend, I want you to enjoy it. And I'm sending all my good to you. I will talk to you soon.